Hello, and today I'm on the couch here with Trish, who's a Reiki master teacher,
Hello.
and we're talking about how Reiki can help with mental health. So, first of all, Trish, how did you find Reiki, or how did Reiki find you?
About 26 years ago, I went for Reiki, fell in love with it after I'd had the sessions.
Mm.
Just felt so focused, mind was clear, aches and pains had disappeared.
Wow,
And I went to a lady for a year. And then she moved to Leeds. So then it was a case of now what? So after 6 months of not being able to have Reiki anywhere, I found somebody who was teaching it. So I took myself along and I started the Western route of level 1 Reiki, and I progressed all the way through to Reiki master teacher. So I was able to self-heal. And that's a long time ago.
a long time ago. It's amazing how time flies. And what have been the main benefits you found as both a Reiki client and a Reiki teacher for yourself?
Well, within Reiki, you're taught meditations.
Hmm.
And when you meditate, everything, when you come out, 20-minute meditation, everything is clearer. Your heart and your mind are at peace. You've got clarity, you can focus, and all that monkey mind that you had that said you can't do this, you can't do that, for 20 minutes has just disappeared.
Fantastic. And it's interesting that we've got Eastern Reiki and Western Reiki. What's the difference between the two?
There's a lot of difference. Um, the Western Reiki was brought out of Japan by a wonderful lady called Madame Takata. Without her, we wouldn't have Reiki. Um, she, in 1940, she brought it out of Japan and she went back to Miami. And of course, in 1940, we just had Pearl Harbor. So nobody wanted anything at all remotely Japanese. So she made out that Makayo Yusi was a doctor
Mhm.
and a Christian, and he'd been at Harvard. In actual fact, he'd never been anywhere apart from his little village. So she brought it out, and because he was a Christian and a doctor and he'd been in America, it was accepted. So she, towards the end of her life, made her granddaughter the next grandmaster. So her granddaughter and her friend became joint grandmasters. And then after about a year, that relationship finished. And Barbara Webb went into America and developed another 19 types of Reiki. So each time it's changed, it's watered down. I am attuned into that. And then after doing that for about 15 years, I found somebody to teach me Eastern Reiki, and it is much stronger. And you know, when you look at the lineage, if you've got Madame Takata, it's Western. If you've got Hiroshi Doi, who's part of the Gakkai, who keep the secrets of Reiki in Japan, that is Eastern. And it's simple, it's stronger. And as a teacher, you're given all the workbooks and you're not allowed to change them. If you want to add anything in, you put it in an appendix, but you are not allowed to change the teachings. So it's as strong as it was the day it left Japan. And
That's
that's the
interesting.
biggest difference.
Yeah, it's really interesting because I do keep seeing people who are doing things who keep tweaking it and tuning it for their own, and then they come in and teach me something or try to, and they're doing something totally different to what I was
Yeah,
taught originally. So,
yeah,
and it's interesting that there's so many people who seem to enjoy and benefit from Reiki.
yeah. If nothing else, you are relaxed, your mind is calm. A normal session takes about 45 minutes with a client lying on the bed. You give an hour because you have to allow someone at least 10 minutes to come round and have a glass of water.
Mhm.
So a session is booked for an hour, but you're actually 45 minutes, and you can have hands on or hands off, depending on your preference.
That's
Both,
good.
it works just the same.
Good. And how does Reiki benefit people on a mental health level?
It gives focus, it gives clarity of mind. And while they're doing self-healing, because they're doing something for themselves, they feel empowered.
Right.
And that's the biggest thing, rather than have to rely on somebody or something else. And there's loads of tips and techniques that you can do. Um, and it gives them clarity of mind and gives them focus and peace.
That sounds good.
Mhm.
So, if somebody was wanting to use Reiki for sort of self-healing and to improve the mental health, what would you suggest as the first step?
First step would be to have a Reiki session,
Right.
to try Reiki as a client, to make sure that they like it.
Hmm.
And then if they bond and gel with the Reiki master, because there is that, then to start with the first session, which is level 1 Reiki.
Hmm.
And it's 12 hours of face-to-face teaching. So it's done over 2 weekends. because of the amount of energy that person receives.
Yeah. Okay. And you mentioned they can then sort of help themselves with that. I quite like that, rather than having to go to another therapist. How effective is that?
Very effective, because it's your own energy. And you're taught ways to do self-healing, hands-on, hands-off, and how to do it in meditation, where you actually feel your own energy, and that is just amazing.
Good. That sounds really, really interesting. So really people need to get out and experience it.
Yeah.
And as I said before, it is really popular. I've met so many people who either do it or practice it, and there's got to be something there in there. In fact, a lot of the clients we see in here. If you could go back in time about Reiki and give yourself some advice, what would that be?
Find the teacher quicker.
Yeah.
And like yourself, I'm a hypnotherapist. I do spiritual hypnotherapy and clinical hypnotherapy. I would have done that many, many years ago as well.
Good.
I would have done all the skills and gifts that I've got now. I would have had them earlier.
So yeah, that's interesting. So with hypnosis, you mentioned doing that earlier. I totally agree. I wish I'd found that sort of thing a lot earlier. What's the main benefit you found with hypnosis?
Helping people. Fears and phobias mainly. I've done a lot of past life regression. Everyone seems to want to know what they did in the past rather than what they're doing today. And that's absolutely fine. Sometimes there's lessons to learn that help them today. But as you specialize in anxiety, mine is primarily at the moment fears and phobias. Spiders and birds and all sorts. Fear of flying.
Why do you feel drawn towards that niche?
It's the clientele that come to me. I'm quite open to do anything and everything. However, at this moment in time, the universe is providing clients who are desperate for that.
Yeah, there's a lot of people with fears and phobias, and it's there's not enough of us to go around to help with all of that. Yeah, I love hypnosis. I got into that years ago, and it's just, again, I wish I'd done that so much sooner. But if we all had that time machine,
oh, it'd be fabulous.
That'd be fab. It'd be really good. So tell me, Trish, give me some really good tips for looking after your own mental health.
Definitely going out for a walk.
Right.
That is the biggest thing. If you can get into the woods or at the beach, just in nature, not really on the concrete streets. If you can just get yourself away. And of course, it's clean eating, drinking plenty of water, less processed food, no pop. Definitely cut back on the alcohol and, if possible, the meat, because all of that in the gut is it lowers your vibration. And if you're having a bad day and you're feeling really fed up with yourself and everything's going wrong and you've got negative thoughts, just say, cancel, cancel, cancel. Universe, show me something beautiful. And then look out for the butterfly or the bird or the rainbow in the sky, and you will find something beautiful. And it flips your mindset.
Yeah, that's very interesting, because on a neuroscience level, the more that we start to look for the positives in life, looking for the wins, we build neural pathways to do that. And one of the interesting things with anxiety, it's a natural process that we go out there and it protects us, but we've got really overtuned to be looking for all those negatives now.
And if you look for them, you'll find them.
Yeah, certainly. Whatever you focus on, you'll find in life. So that's a good little tip, just sort of getting on. And you mentioned there about vibration. What's this vibration about?
If you are a high vibration person, people are drawn to you, animals are drawn to you. If you're a low vibration person, everything goes wrong. And a lot of this is how you are yourself. If you wake up in the morning and think, it's going to be a fabulous day today, I'm looking forward to going to work, it'll be an easy journey, I'm going to have a really good day, you'll get that because you're putting out high vibration to the universe. If you wake up, oh, I've got to go to work. Oh, it's going to be awful in the traffic. Oh, it's going to be a hard job. When you get there, that is what it'll be. What you put out there, you get back.
Certainly. And do you find you get some clients who've got that thinking pattern?
Definitely.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's ingrained.
And which tools would you use to help to improve that?
Sometimes I've done EFT. Right. That does help. I've done open eye hypnosis if they don't have confidence, where I've anchored in positive affirmations. A lot of it is a session of Reiki can just change anybody's mood. And then, of course, you've got lots of tools and tricks, as we know, with open eye hypnosis, where you can do things like that. And affirmations.
Yeah.
Because they are so powerful.
And would you say that's on it attract things to you in a positive way?
It can. It can also dispel things depending on what you're looking at. But yes, if you say something nice, all of life comes to me with ease, joy, and glory. That's what you'll get.
I like that. Yeah, it's quite interesting. I've had a number of clients who tell me positive thinking doesn't work.
It does.
And I say, well, hang on a minute. If you've got the choice between positive or negative thinking, always go for the positive one. But it is interesting when people start to align themselves with the more positive things and looking after themselves.
It's the first step.
It's one of the first steps. And something we regularly see with clients is they're very often stuck in the problem, but they're not putting any effort into the solution.
Yeah.
And when we start to focus our energy into that, it's amazing how quickly things start to change, even the serious ones. Good, good. That was very, very interesting. So if people wanted to contact you, maybe for a Reiki session or some advice, what would be the best way they could find you?
I have a website, Hypnotherapy and Holistics. There's a contact page there. They can email me and I'll pick that up and reply.
That's great. Thanks for that. So thank you all for watching. I hope you found that useful. And hopefully we can do some more sessions with Trish in the future and tell you a little bit more about advanced Reiki and the other things that might help. Thank you.
Thank you.